Hi, hello, what's up? My name is Liz, you are watching Booking Out Loud, and today I'm doing a book review of Max Brooks's Devolution. Devolution by Max Brooks is a part survival narrative, part bloody horror tale, part scientific journey, and tends to fly the boundaries of truth and fiction. At its base, this is a Bigfoot story. This is a story that takes place after a fictional eruption of Mount Rainier up in the state of Washington. This eruption brings total chaos to the Pacific Northwest. The city of Seattle and its surrounding areas are completely cut off from civilization. No food can be brought over, no help, no aid, basically. The people of Washington State end up being completely cut off from the world. And the eruption is so big that it also devastates the environment. These ash clouds come in and completely ruin the crops and the forests of Washington State. This is important because what are the animals going to do? They survive on the food that has now been completely ruined. And what are the people to do as well? If they can't have food shipped in, if they don't have crops growing, what's going to happen to them? At its base, this story takes place in an environmentally conscious town called Green Loop. Before the explosion, the townspeople of Green Loop were completely off the grid. They had their groceries shipped in, they lived off of solar, and then the explosion happened. And rather than flee, they decided to stay. However, they soon start noticing that the animals are acting strange. The animals come to the town starving, just trying to look for a little morsel of food. And that some animals' feeding habits have started changing. This develops into strange noises, soon being heard from the forests surrounding them. Eventually, the townspeople discover that a troop of Bigfoot have become their new neighbors, and they are hungry and violent. The townspeople have to start working together to hopefully survive the winter with these new neighbors. Now, Brooks wrote this novel sort of like a true crime story. He takes on this role as a detective, sort of like his previous novel, World War Z. It takes place a few years after the story truly takes place. As a character in the story, Brooks is trying to figure out what happened to this town, Green Loop. He starts out the novel by saying, this town has disappeared. Everyone disappeared. On the maps, they've disappeared. And so he's just trying to figure out what happened. There's these rumors, but they make no sense. So there's 3 things he truly goes over. There's 2 interviews and a journal by Katie Holland. And that's it. We are mostly told this story by the journal, and then a couple of these interview stories. And it very much feels like a horror story. As Katie's journal progresses, you are shown how much fear Katie has. You are shown how much she is unprepared for a disaster, and how much This town is unprepared for a disaster, much less an invasion of Bigfoot. These townspeople still carry their phones around even though they don't have signal or even a charge left. And Brooks really goes into how unprepared society is for a major disaster. I think that's one of the aspects that make this story truly scary. It's based on truths grounded in reality. It's believable to an extent that our society is not ready for a disaster like this. And in result, I gave this book a 4 stars because it is believable. Granted, I want to give a disclaimer that I did read this book over audiobook, and I got to hear a cast of 3 or 4 voices truly narrate this story out loud and bring it to life. Devolution by Max Brooks is a quick read. It's a page turner. It's a lot of fun. There were a lot of horror scenes, but it's also very action-packed with unexpected events hopping in and out of the pages. It kept my attention, and it truly took my mind off the pandemic, giving it another disaster to think about. And for these reasons, I do want to recommend this book to you if you haven't picked it up already. Have you read Devolution by Max Brooks already? If not, do you want to? Leave a comment down below to let me know. Thank you for watching. If you're interested in more content, I post a video on Tuesdays and Fridays at 7 a.m. Pacific Daylight Time. I hope you're staying safe. I hope you're having a great day. Bye. I can do this. Sort of. Today, the blue can birds come out of my mouth. No, they cannot.